This is my world famous chili, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to rock this in the kitchen. It's so good. Okay, we're gonna make some really good chili. The first thing I like to do is I like to chop up all my veg and just have that all ready, because it's really like everything else you just dump in the pot. Okay, so I have a red bell pepper. I have 2 jalapenos. You can add 1 or none if you want. I think de-seeding them and adding this adds a great flavor. I'm also gonna add 1 red chili pepper and 1 yellow onion. So let me get to chopping and then we'll be right back. So if you don't want to use a red bell pepper, you can use green, yellow, whatever color you prefer. Okay, now that I have all my veg chops, just get a little bowl and we're gonna put all of our spices in here instead of seasoning as we go. We're just gonna put them all together. So let's start by adding our salt, pepper, chili powder, cumin, smoked paprika, onion powder, and cayenne pepper. I'm just gonna take all of these spices and just mix them together. Okay, now you wanna get a large pot or a Dutch oven, and we're gonna add some olive oil. And then all that veg that we chopped, our peppers, jalapenos, onions, we're gonna put that all in here. And we're gonna saute this until they all get nice and soft. While these are starting to soften up, I'm just gonna take like a couple tablespoons of our blend and put it right in here to start building that flavor. Okay, once these are nice and tender, we're gonna add our tomato paste. Adding your tomato paste now ensures that you toast it, which also gives a really good flavor. So I'm gonna do half of this tube. It's okay if the bottom of your pan has stuff stuck to the bottom. That's what we actually want. All that fond on the bottom of the pan is gonna be all flavor. Now I'm just gonna deglaze with about a 1/4 cup of chicken stock, scraping the bottom of the pan till everything comes off the bottom. Okay, now we're gonna add in our ground beef or your ground chuck. Cook it all the way through. As your beef is browning, we can add our seasoning. I like to save a little bit of the seasoning and then taste as I go. Okay, when your beef is all cooked, I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Add a whole can of beer or a bottle of beer. You can use dark beer, light beer, any kind of beer you prefer. This is a really big can, so I'm not gonna use the whole thing, like an average size can. And we're gonna crank the heat out and we're gonna let all that alcohol cook out. That's what it's looking like now. It smells divine. Now, one thing I have always added to my chili that might be a little unconventional, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but unsweetened cocoa powder. Putting a little bit of cocoa powder in chili is really going to bring out the flavors that are in here. I mean, it is not going to taste like chocolate. It is going to enhance the flavor of this chili like you've never tried before. So I'm going to put that in now. Put in a can of diced tomatoes, tomato sauce. And this is optional, but I'm also gonna add some kidney beans, but you can leave these out if you don't prefer beans in your chili. A good mix. I'll let this simmer for at least 2 minutes and then I'm gonna try it and see if I'd like to add any more of that seasoning or if it's good the way that it is or if it needs more salt. I'm just gonna let all these flavors come together before I try it. Oh, it's perfect. Now I've just turned the heat down to a simmer and I'm gonna let this simmer for at least 30 minutes. I'm gonna share with you the most flavorful, delicious chili you've ever had, and it is easier than you think. Look at that. To finish it off, some freshly shaved cheddar.